Now, we are deeply honored to invite the visionary behind Spire Lab, Professor Prasanta Kumar Ghosh, whose dedication and leadership have shaped the lab into what it is today. So the stage is yours.
I'll take next few minutes to go over the last 10 years at Spire Lab. So when I started doing my homework, I would say, for this presentation, I was a little overwhelmed, particularly to what to cover and what not to cover. And so what I decided to do is to tell you some events from memories uh, which has made me learn something and made the Spire Lab members learn something and also grow Spire Lab as a team. So before I do that, just a quick summary in terms of numbers, as Professor Udai Kumar said, that is only one aspect, but I'll begin with that. And also, for today and tomorrow, we'll talk about quality through our work presentation that we'll do to get feedback from all the esteemed guests and collaborators. So looking back over these 10 years, um, Spire Lab has graduated 5 PhDs, 5 MTech research students, nearly 50 MTech course students, mentored over 200 interns, overall 250 plus publication, jointly journal and conference, journal being roughly 50 to 60. 20 plus sponsored projects, including some of the large scale initiatives in Indian languages, and working experience with many of the collaborators. Many of them are here today. So with that, I'll now go into the mode of covering the individual events and the learning from there. So let me begin from 2013. 2013 is when I was lucky to join electrical engineering department. And then I did not join as assistant professor. I joined as a DST Inspire faculty fellow. And that time, the then chairman, Professor Sastry, was very kind to have me as a regular faculty member. So I was teaching course, having students. And this was one of the old memories. This is the first office that I had. This is the office in the first floor after you get through the stairs and take the first door on the left. Not the very first, the second door on the left. So here I was there for nearly 2 years. So this is the entrance view. Oops, sorry. What I did, yeah, I'll just come back. What I did, as I was doing my homework, as I said, I clustered all these events into, all the pictures into various folders. So I'll just show some of those. So this was the other view. And now I believe another postdoc is sitting here. So nonetheless, I'll move on from here. So the second one, while I was in that office, we were, I would say, conceptualizing about Spire Lab. And one of the important thing then, it was fun, was to think about and come up with a Spire Lab logo. And it was real fun because there are so many ideas and so many versions of the logo. So these 4 I was going through. I'll just show you one. I hope this is visible. So this is an email chain with an alumni named Vijita. She was very instrumental in taking this initiative. You can see a very long email chain where we are sharing codes to generate this logo and all of that. And all these various versions of the logo came up of different types. And then finally, we landed on the logo that we have today. So this was in 2014 when I was still in the old office. So what this is a little exercise, but what it brought was a bonding between members. So everybody started thinking for one thing, right? Everybody in the lab. Of course, one was taking the lead, and people came up with different ways of creating the logo. Uh, so this was one thing that I, deeply remember. So I'll go back to the. I'll move to the next one. When I joined, the very first year, I got 2 PhD students. And that time, because I was the DSD Inspire Faculty Fellow, Professor Sastri, the then chairman, was the co-guide, default guide. So at that time, we didn't have lab space. So Professor Chandra, who is also joined today later, we were having seats in his lab called Spectrum Lab. So I'll show you some pics from those days. So any celebration of Spectrum Lab will be a celebration of Spire Lab, although it didn't start the Spire Lab at that moment, right? It was together. So just few glimpses. The picture is not that good coming because of the Google Meet, probably. But I'll share all these pictures can be put up. So this is an event where we are having in the roof of the E department, where you see solar panels today. At that time, there were no solar panels. So we had both members of the Spectrum and Spire Lab in these pictures. So it was a great learning again. When I was inviting Chandra, Professor Chandra, I told him that without you, we wouldn't have a space. He said one word, it's called coexisting, right? That's what we need to learn when we are together. So it was great to have space, not only space, but his inputs, advices, and facilities at that moment. I'll move on. Then in 2015, there's a lag. Oh, wow. In 2015, 7th May, we had the lab inauguration in the current place that we have our Spire Lab in the second floor. What was very interesting at that point of time, that we could choose the room for our lab. We could choose the seating arrangements, the which sides of the room, lab space will have tables, which side will have desk and all of that, because of the lighting comes from one side. So there are a lot of planning that were happening with the student at that moment of time. So I vividly recall we all were engaged deeply into doing a lot of calculation as to this place is good, no, that room is good. No, there are more trees with mangoes, so we should have our lab next to that mango tree and all of that. So it was very, very fun filled. So I'll just show you some pictures again. Yeah, the pictures are not coming out well here. So we have individual lab members' photos during the event. This is welcome to Spire written. This is Arvind, this is Vijita, Ataur, and everybody. Then we invited all the faculty members in that event and to have their blessings. We had a little get together. Probably, sir, you can recall. Sen, Professor Sen. Yes. Then we had, Professor Chandra came, Professor Muthuvel, everybody, Chandra's team members, of course, right? And we are discussing several things, why it is put there, why it is not there, that kind of discussion. You can understand the attachment that everybody in the lab would have had at that moment of time. So these are some of the glimpses from Professor Chiara. Not sure you can see him, but I think now you'll be able to see him. So he's also joining us tomorrow. So Professor Rajagopal. So it was great to have all of them to bless on that occasion. Okay, I'll move on. I think this is a video. Yeah, let me see if that plays. Let's see. Okay, I guess for the sake of covering the other ones, let me move on. So with that, the lab got inaugurated. And then one of the things that often happens without me telling is this, and many such. So this is one example of that type. This was painting on the lab wall. So if you might have realized in the previous pictures, let me show you one. You can see here the lab walls are sort of empty, but today they are not empty. We have pictures there. Tomorrow we'll see when you have in the lab. And that's what I call lab painting, wall painting, not really putting pictures. So I'll tell you now what they really planned and made me do, and what was the final outcome. Okay, so the idea that all the students thought of, it was led by Nisha, one of the PhD students at that point of time, was to keep everybody's handprint and create design with that. So as you can see on the screen, everybody were putting their handprints and other, with thumbprint, having some flowers, and all of them are engaged. You can see this is a late evening activity, and there was a power cut at that point of time. You can see, probably realize that. So they were very engrossed into all of that. And then when all the, these are all using the fingerprints. And then when all of them were, put from the individual members, then I was asked to put my handprint, full palm print. So, yeah, just will move to the, yeah, so this is Chiranjeevi, one of the PhD student. He'll also join tomorrow to put, that was a dummy trial, and then put my handprint at the center of the, so with that, the entire picture got filled. So this is one of the picture that is in the lab wall today. Along with that, I'll also show you the kind of involvement. These are things, as I said, without me telling happens, and this is very nice to unite people. So this is another email chain. You can see 2015 in May. A lot of people debating. I remember clearly debating a lot. What are the pictures to keep and not to keep? There are a lot of options that people started putting in from various online sources, and decide, no, this picture means that. This picture help us think about on our problem. We should have, pictures that will make us motivate and all of that, right? So it was a nice working together and learning together. Okay, I'll move on. The next one I want to talk about, the next one I'd like to talk about is of unboxing of EMA. EMA stands for electromagnetic articulograph. This is one of the facility that we wanted to start when I joined. This is related to the research of speech production, where we record the motion of the articulators when people are speaking. So this equipment was costly. This came from the startup grant that I got at IISc, and it was nearly 500 million machine. So this was coming from Germany. So I was a little worried how it will clear customs, finally reach the lab. What was amazing that this machine was super heavy. It is something like, I think, 40-50 kg. So it's not easy that I can't lift. Okay. In fact, Professor Jamini has one in Nimhans. She knows how heavy it is. So they delivered it in front of the E department. And that time I was not there. Professor Chandra was there, so he moved it to the workshop area, the area behind the office, you can say. Then we realized that we have to put it to the first floor, and it was not getting into the lift. So 10 students, they all lifted this whole thing up. It was a very delicate machine. So what the German people told us that make sure you do not hit, any spot or any wall or anything while you move this. So we are very, very careful, ultra careful, holding all of that by hand. So I clearly remember the effort that is putting in all together. Again, I'm talking about being united and, doing things together. So this is in the room where we have Spire Lab today. Many of you are sitting there. That lab, at that point, there was no renovation done. So this is one of the picture. I'll just show you few pictures. And this picture may not be in exact order, but I'll still try to give an order. So this is how the whole box looked, quite heavy. And then we started unpacking at that moment. And you can see it's a little laggy, right? So it was a lot of excitement because this is a machine that I worked during my PhD, and I had to start some research in that direction here. So we are very much attached and excited about it. So you can see all the pictures. Then what happened, of course, we started taking samples, recording with the lab members. Brigitta from the Kirsten Systems, who delivered this machine or made this machine, they were here, the company people, and they had also instructed us to do how to use and everything. So we had lunch together with her and had good time at that moment, right? And then after that, all this happened, we started doing recording, and we opened up. So there are several issues that came up. So we opened up the device and had to fix many stuff, screwing, unscrewing, solving, and screwing back. All those happened at that moment. Then many subjects we started recording in this machine. So let me show you some of those pictures. So as you can see here, let me. So this is one of the most fun picture. We wanted to do real experiment. You can see Gaurav with his guitar in the system because we wanted to capture the finger movement while playing. So the sound to finger movement. So we did a lot of such interesting experiment at that point of time. And this machine we of course could not use during the COVID, and from then we sort of discontinued recording this machine. We hope to start again. And then the then divisional chairman, Professor Narari, chairman, Professor A.G. Ramakrishnan were there. We had an event where we demonstrated how this machine works, how we do the data collection and everything. This is one of the MTech SP student, Samik, who is sitting in the device. So Professor Sastry, Professor Hari, everybody were there at that moment in this occasion. So Arvind thesis and partly Nisha's thesis all were based on these devices recordings. So it was again working together, setting up a facility, and the learning again was that if we have to set up something, we need to work together within the lab and within the department. And that was a great learning as well. So these are individual people who are, you can see there. So in every recording, I must tell you, I was always involved, and I have to be involved because of ethical issues. If something goes wrong with the subject, we have to be responsible for. In fact, Dr. Yamini knows we did some recording. I myself, went to IISc and do the recording. It's not a trivial recording, but we do experimental work, so we do experiments, and we love to do and see data, the kind of nature of the movement while somebody speaks. So that way, this machine was really awesome to capture all those varieties. Okay, let me see if there is anything in particular. No. So with that note, I'll move to the next one. While we recorded, the motion of the tongue and lips while somebody is speaking, I think being experimental, we do experimental research, as I just said, we did not leave other organs that does sound processing. For example, this is some experiment I found while browsing through the old pictures. we are doing measurement of the year. The reason is the measurement of the year, not just this width, but also the various width and length of these creeps and crevices, determines how you hear. This is called head-related transfer function. So we are trying to create a database of measurement of these ears and relate to his head-related or her head-related transfer. This was one of the intern doing at that point of time. So he took all the lab members' ears with the scalpel, right, to do the, no, this is called the, this scale, right, the vernier, has slide caliper, correct. So like that. So it was again fun. So these are experiments to learn, require support from the members. It's not an experiment research where you can do yourself. You can solve on a piece of paper or write your program by yourself. So it was a lot of learning in that sense. Now, at this very moment, I like to really, stress upon one thing where again, departmental chair and the department gave a lot of support, which is on the next slide. So this I call Allah make de pani de. All of you know what it means. You will be surprised that why I'm calling this title. I used to tell that time that farmers, I'll call farmers who wait for rain to come to harvest, right? It was almost like that for us, for rain to come, and we do research. You may be wondering still why I'm talking about that. So let me go to the slide, to the picture and show you. Not sure you can see it. You can see some, this is a wall, right? This is a roof, this is a wall, and this is a wall. This is a room where we have the EMA facility today. So we almost built up that room. We had soundproof walls, panels, false ceiling, and all of that being set up. And then there was a rain, heavy rain. When that heavy rain happened, we started seeing that the water is seeping into the wall. The reason it happened because that was a room which was a room which is adjacent to the old structure. So this is an extension of the old. The roof that you saw, the lab we have now, it was also a roof, that space. So the construction was new. And because of this joint problem, the rainwater was leaking in. And then that gave us a shock because I already spent quite a few lakhs on setting up this room. So the soundproof panels and everything was all in place, and they got wasted. I'll show you pictures. And you can sort of see the pain at that moment in all of us. Then I went and met Prof. Sastry, the chairman. We had a lot of discussions on how to find the reason for this problem and solve the problem. It didn't happen only in meeting in the office, but I used to go with him for lunch, and the solution came out in a lunch meeting, I must tell you, okay, and tell you how it happened now. So let me move on. So this was a problem on the wall, and so we had, you see on the floor, probably you don't see it, we have put all the, the pitch board so that if the water falls, these are all the acoustic panel on the wall, which are sound absorbed. They are very, very costly, and they got damaged. You can see the false ceiling also. So then this is the outside the room, where we have the first classroom in the second floor. That corner it started coming. So there's something happening there. Then when we discussed with Prof. Sastry, he said that you have to do an experiment to find out the real reason. So what we did, we removed all the panels. I think that picture is also there. I'll go there. Yeah, so these are the panels that got wasted. All the fungus came on the panel. So we removed all the panels. So panels were put up, we removed all of them. Then he said, on the top we went and saw that the old roof and the new roof, they are joining, right? And they were left like this. What they did, on the old roof they put a wall, on the new roof they put a wall. And then on top of the two walls they put a tiles cover so that the water doesn't fall in the joint. That was the engineer's idea. But what they did not realize, that how water from the top roof will go to one roof will go to the other roof, because there are two roofs. So what they did, they made a hole in the wall at the bottom and put a pipe so that the water from the top roof can go through the pipe to the other roof, because that was on a higher, height was higher than the other roof. With this setup, everything was good. But what they did not realize, while putting that pipe got cracked within those two walls. For whatever reason, I don't know, right? And this was Shastri's hypothesis. All the credits to him, I must tell. He suspected that the pipe, we can't see that pipe because these two wall and the concrete, this was a concrete structure. You can't see inside what's happening. So he said, you do one thing. Let the pipe be there, but on the roof, on the right-hand side, as I'm showing, you block this pipe so that the water cannot go. If there is a crack in the middle, then the water will pile up in this wall. It's like a barrage or whatever you call it, right? And that's what we did. There are three, pipes connecting. We blocked all of them, and we're waiting for rain. Unless rain happens, we cannot do this experiment. That's why I say Allah make the panite. So we're waiting for rain, and then one night there was a heavy rain. Morning, I got a call from the office. Sir, the second floor is flooded. So that classroom space, the room, MR room, every place, it was a water up to the ankle. This much, at least 3-inch water all throughout. So the entire water could not go anywhere but got piled up between these two walls and got in through the joint, which is not really a solid. There's a lot of gaps, I mean. That entire water came down. And then the answer was clear, that there's a pipe. So we broke the wall, we rebuilt everything. And today if you go, you'll see that on top of that wall structure, we have put another concrete, no, not concrete, I think tin cover or shed to even safeguard that wall also. So that was it's an experiment by itself. It's an experiment for experiment, I would say. And it was a great learning at that moment, that to set up something, how much pain you may have to go through, and pleasure when you solve the problem. So you can see this picture. So I was in particular very, very worried. How do you put up such an expensive equipment in such a room? But we have now solved the problem. So we did the recording and all of that. Okay, I'll move on. That is all about Allah make de pani de. I'll take a bit more, few minutes from the anchor and then finish. I've just three more slides. So now I'll talk about another exciting memory, which is winning SP Cup. And this is again something that student does. That really gives me learning and enjoyment and a real good experience. So let me show you while I speak about this. So this event, SP Cup, is called Signal Processing Cup. This is a worldwide competition of undergraduate students on problem statement given by some organizer under IEEE. You might have heard the name. So this was a problem statement on a problem which says that you have to do recording of the power signal from the socket. Number one. Number two, we have to build a hardware for that. Number two, they gave us recording of this signal from various grids across the world. And then they wanted us to build an automatic classifier. Given this signal, we should be able to tell it's from Europe, some grid, or US grid, or India grid. And we had to collect our recording also because we had to contribute to the entire effort. And more interestingly, what I learned in that is that it is related to forensics, because if you record your voice or do any video recording with your device connected to the power socket, I believe the signature of your power grid gets into your recording. So if somebody tampers your recording, you'll be able to figure out whether it is your own recording or a tampered recording. So people have used that. Nonetheless, let me come to a simple problem. So we had to form a group. So there are brilliant students, undergraduate students, as you see them. It's not, again, a good picture. They're all working together. Yeah, I think this will be an easier picture to see. Yeah, so they are from NITK, Suratkal. Nisha was a PhD student on the left. I'm on the right. This was the team. We worked relentlessly for several weeks to build the hardware and working together. You see the hardware here. I'll show you even more. Let me see. Yeah, this is the hardware that we built. Yeah, here is the closure view. Yeah. So essentially, it was a transformer which converts the power line high voltage to a 5 volt, and then through an Arduino, we sample the voltage. Now, what was the learning was that we know that we have a fixed frequency, like 50 hertz AC current, but actually it is not. It is not always 50. It varies from 49 to 51 and so on and so forth. And the nature in which it varies tells which grid you are from, because it depends on the load. So in the competition, we had to go to China, Shanghai, and present, and we were third in the list, as you see. So there are the top was from Bangladesh, and the second was from Purdue University. Again, it was a learning because we got to meet people with undergraduates from other parts of the country, and got to know how they work, how they really did preparation for this challenge. So these are some of the pictures from the very good memories. So this is our group pictures, right? And they also had a presentation ceremony where they announced our names in this lunch meeting, which was great. So in fact, we all were there from the lab in that meeting. So that was nice experience again, and sort of quote unquote working together for a success. One thing I must tell, which I felt really deeply attached and about the respect that I got from students. It was all about the Teachers' Day I'm talking about, right? So every year, Teachers' Day celebrated in the lab. Like to show the oldest pictures from 2015. Some of the pictures where there are a lot of planning happened, what to give gift to me by the student on Teachers' Day. And one of the most planned was in 2015. Yeah, this is the one. So what the student did at that point of time, they figured out, without telling me, of course, who was my advisor in Jadavpur, where I did my undergraduate, who was my advisor at IISc, who was my advisor during my PhD. All of that put together into one, frame, and then with message on both sides. So it was very, very touchy. I'd say that, I was touched with this effort. And every year that happens. So words cannot, no way of I can thank you, and this is really a gift to me. Okay, almost this is from 2015. And one thing I'm not really good at is saving the pictures. And these are pictures taken by them and saved, right? And this was from 2016. Yeah, so again, and that was a watch, and so on and so forth. So it is not about the item, but the amount of effort being put in, thought process put together. That was amazing, right? So we all grew like this as the Spire family and created bonding. We also had several visitors. Some of them are leaders in the field. This is from a company called Artanim. They work in the area of sensors. They came once. This is from searching, I found all of this. This person, Alan Black, who is one of the top speech researchers in the world. We are blessed with his presence. Then this was, this is a team from Sony who came in one of the years, 2017. Then this was Professor IISc Mitra, many who are from engineering background and read digital signal processing book. The book, one of the very well-known book is written by him, who is here, Professor IISc Mitra, Professor KRR, Professor Sastry, the then chairman, Chandra, everybody, all the faculty members were there. So it was a great moment. So their presence, of course, was blessings to the lab. And this was a TCS visit at that point of time. So again, visitors came from several companies, and it was a blessing. And there are many more things to tell, right? Let me see if I can put the full screen so that you can see. And that's the last slide I have. So there are so many ideas I cannot even cover in this short span, starting from creating, individual pen drive for every member of the lab, which did not work out, to celebrating everybody's birthday, making open day success. Again, all working together. Even in fact, this event is all because of all the members that are putting. That's great to see. The reason I put up this picture is because it was such a popular demo that even we continue doing this demo today. So over the years, it has become a Spire Lab, quote unquote, representative demo, and the work on the whiteboard discussions. So there are many things to tell, but I'll stop now and wish again that all of you will enjoy today and tomorrow, and hope I could give some glimpses of the activities and unitedness of the members that made us as a group, as a family today. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ghosh, for your heartfelt words and for being the guiding force behind Spire Lab.